Okay, today's class, number 176, I am fulfillment. Now, that's going to take an acceptance. I have to accept that I am consciousness, and I have to accept that I am fulfillment. Now, if I am thinking about this by faith, I've already accepted it because that's how I'm made. I am created in the image and likeness of God. And I like what this minister, Mike Popovich, calls, he calls creation is to choose. In other words, I have chosen the image and likeness of God as myself, and I have accepted it. It's already done. I am this consciousness. There's nothing I can do to become this consciousness. I am this already. But some days it doesn't look like it. And so then I start thinking stuff like, I can study, I can go grab a book. I need to get this consciousness or something so that I can have the something, which is not true. I don't need to go and get a consciousness of anything because I am already the consciousness of whatever it is that's necessary. And most times, not most times, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that, all the time. The only thing that's ever necessary is to realize the peace. I am at peace. I am always at peace. I am this peace. That which I'm seeking, I am. That which I am looking for, I am. I am that. I have to accept that. And I've already accepted that. And so, therefore, I get a release on the inside, a lift, something that lets me know, now I believe. Jesus said it like this, I came not to destroy, but to fulfill. Why? Because there's nothing to destroy. All is already perfect. You're just looking at stuff that comes and goes, but consciousness is perfect. All is perfect. And if we take the pictures away, we still have God, consciousness. All is done and unchanging. Solomon said, that which is to be is already been, and that which has been is right now. If that which is to be has already been, and that which has been is right now, then there is nothing to be, there's nothing to become, there's nothing outside of that which already is, and everything is already there. Fulfillment already is. I am aware of fulfillment because I am the fulfillment that I am aware of. Let's skip over to Mark 11 and 22 through 25. These scriptures have been with me since the 70s. I've always thought that I totally understood them, but then there's always this expansion. I like to think of it like, okay, just because you did something a certain way a couple of years ago doesn't mean that if you're doing it a different way now, but it's an expansion of how you were doing it. That doesn't mean that what you did was wrong. It just meant you found an easier way to do it. And I think sometimes we think that out here in the world of everyday life, there's a perfect way. There's only one way to do something. And if you do it like that, then you are doing it exactly the way Jesus did it. And we know good and well that can't be the truth because Jesus said, greater works will you do because I go into the Father. In other words, you will always be able to go beyond the way things were done years ago because of an expansion in consciousness. I used to do it like this, but now I can do this. Or I used to, well, let's just take, for example, the design of certain kinds of things. People used to use candles, kerosene lamps, or I might as well say oil lamps. Then came an understanding of electricity. Then came an understanding of things that all the myriad or the abundance of things that could be done with electricity. People don't ride covered wagons from California to Mexico or what have you, or Idaho to Nevada in covered wagons. They don't do that anymore. And so what happens is consciousness is a good way of saying it is, Marie Watts called it ever new. I used to always wonder, how can consciousness be ever new when it's just all the same thing? Yeah, it's all the same thing, but yet it's always expanding and showing us different ways of doing things. But the only thing that remains the same is I. I am fulfillment. And I can't explain how the fulfillment is going to look or how it's going to come about. I can't explain that. There are those who can. They can sit down and say, I saw this person do this, this, and this at that particular time and at that point, and the thing came right into his life exactly how he said he was going to do it. Well, he's got his belief locked to visualization. He can that's how he's rolling. Then you have those who say, I just closed my eyes and I went within and I got at peace. And once I got at peace, I was able to let go of the problem. And then the problem came in a way, it was resolved in a way in which I could not have come up with or told you how it was going to happen. Okay, that's fine. That's perfect. The guy with the other way, visualizing and seeing the thing come into his life, that's the way for him at that particular time. That's how he sees it. It says some take heaven by force. But I can tell you this. The greatest way to receive is by grace. And the only thing you ever receive by grace is God. That's the highest level of spirituality that there is. In other words, I am looking to receive God. And once I know I have God, things have a way of falling in place. They're already in place. I just have a way of looking at them from a correct perspective. In Mark 11:22, it says, have faith in God. I've come to understand and learn that faith is a firmness of mind. And we only have this one mind, it's the Christ mind. But it appears that we have another mind that Paul called carnal mind. But we can't have a carnal mind because we're the image and likeness of God. So the only mind we can have is the mind of Christ, which means a consciousness which is filled up with truth. Now, if we're firm about that, then we have this grace that comes from God. Now, here's the question. What is God? The easiest answer that I've ever come up with for what God is over in the 4th chapter. I'm sorry, in John 1. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. So that means that the Word is what I have this consciousness of. And if I have a consciousness of the Word, a realization of that Word, by grace I will receive peace, love, joy, faith, patience, meekness, kindness, temperance, which is self-control. Against such there is no law. Now, I'll bear all of that fruit as long as I am aware that I am only looking for the word. If I'm looking for the word, I'll be, and I hear the word. If my whole constitution, that's what we used to call it a long time ago, if my whole mindset is I am firm in the fact that I am only looking for the word, it appears that this is missing out of my life. It appears that that is missing out of my life. But I am looking for the word. Now, that which I'm seeking, I am. So I am the word, and I am the word made flesh. Jesus made himself equal with God. So do we. I am the word, and that word becomes flesh. Jesus said, the words that I speak, they are spirit and they are life. I speak the word only, and wholeness is expressed in every area. But as long as I'm out here looking to try to get wholeness to be expressed, then I've stepped back and I'm taking one of the other routes at trying to take heaven by force, meaning harmony. I'm trying to make things happen. You know, like that is a Geico commercial, let's make a lot of money. I see a lot of people just from one business to the next. I mean, they just seem so successful. They're making all kinds of money. But they don't have the consciousness of the word. They have the consciousness of connecting with the right people, making the right deal, getting the right friend, making sure that they have a way in. And they never really, in other words, their purpose, I'm not criticizing them, I'm just saying that's not for me. But the purpose is to make money. To make money. And to me, the truth is my purpose is to be the word. And if I am the word by grace, there will be those who will learn how to expand in consciousness. They'll come to you. If that's your focus is to be the word and be the word only, that's fulfillment. I know it doesn't look like it, but that is fulfillment. The stuff out here is not fulfillment. Kenny and I were talking the other day, and I said, you know, I see certain things. I see how this can happen. Certain things coming into my life, things that I've been looking for a long time. I said, it finally looks like I'm finally here. I can see how this is going to work, but I'm not excited about it. I don't feel that euphoric feeling about it. And he said, yeah, man, I know. I can understand that. I said, you know how you get excited that, you know, such and such a person is going to do something on such and such a day, or you're going to get this on Friday, or I'm waiting for Christmas and I'm going to get this. And that excitement used to be, well, that excitement was not there that day when I was saying, I see how this is going to work. And within a 48-hour period, I was excited. And the only thing I was excited about was I realized I have what it is that I'm looking for because I am it. What I'm looking for is an idea, which is already embodied in the consciousness that I am. We come here fully loaded. That consciousness has every idea in it, and we choose that idea, which is the word, which is the substance, which is the evidence, which is God. We constantly choose God when we choose the word, when we choose the idea, when we choose the life. We constantly are choosing God, and when we choose God, we realize that we were already chosen. God had already chosen us. That which is to be has already been. So, the next thing that he says after have faith in God, look at the very next thing he said. Whosoever shall say to the mountain. Say. That's the word. I have faith in the word, so now I'm going to say something. And the word I speak is going to be spirit and life. And it is the word which is going to manifest itself or express itself. Why? Because the idea and its expression are the same thing. An idea is already expressed. It's already expressed in consciousness, and that is the fulfillment of purpose. That is the fulfilled Christ. That is the fulfilled man. I am that. There's no doubt in this man. We already have what we say. It's just going to be experienced. And you know what? The experience takes place within. That's what caused my excitement. I experienced the excitement of having the idea, of having the word that is going to become flesh. But all of that is happening within me. It has to show up in what we call the material world or the physical, tangible world. It has to show up here because it is expressing itself in consciousness, which is mind, which is a mirror, and that mirror will reflect that image that we have. I remember telling Kenny, I said, you know what? The image is the idea. The idea is the image. We have the idea. If something is necessary, we have the idea of what's necessary, and it is the word. And all we're looking for is the word. We're not out here looking to make contact with people to try to get what it is that appears to not be in our lives. If a person is necessary in your life to bring it as part of that word becoming flesh, they will come into your life or your experience. Let's put it that way. They can't help it. They have to. They have to, because you have a consciousness of the idea. Whatever you feel is necessary in your experience, you have it. You're living in heaven. And heaven and earth are the same thing. Heaven is the invisible, the earth is visible, but they're both within you, and you are the conduit, how you see it. If you're looking for things out here in the world to make you fulfilled or happy, it's not going to happen. It'd be that rainy day all over again I was talking about. If I get this, then this is going to happen. And look, there is no chain reaction in God. There's only God, the Word, and that Word becomes flesh. But it's already whole. That means you just see it within, but it shows up out here because it's reflected in what we call the consciousness, which is divine mind. All desire is fulfilled. I heard Joel Goldsmith say one time, all desire is sin. I said, can't be. If Jesus said whatever you desire, you have to know that you have to believe you receive it and you should have it. And it was like, that's not what he meant. That's not what Joel Goldsmith meant when he said all desire is sin. What he meant was design stuff out here on the outside and keep designing it and trying to get it. That's the mistake. That's sin. That's a mistake. But realizing I already have it because my consciousness is aware. That's what consciousness really means. I am conscious of something. What am I aware of? I am aware of the idea that's already embodied within me, and therefore this idea and this expression are one and the same thing. The two are one. So all desire is fulfilled already. So we don't have any longing and we don't have any yearning. We accept the fact that we have that which we say. Because what we say is word, which is spirit, which is life, which becomes flesh as we are conscious of the fact that we are speaking from the Christ consciousness. Now, right about here, you should be asking, well, what about the people that say, I am a millionaire, I am a millionaire, I am a millionaire. this is going to make me happy, and then it doesn't happen. There is no consciousness of God running around saying, I am a millionaire. There is a consciousness of God over in Psalms 112 that says, wealth and riches will be in my house. That means wealth and riches are already in your house, and you are consciously aware of it. And because you are consciously aware of it, it's just like having money in the bank. You go and you choose to make a withdrawal. You are conscious of supply, and the wealth and riches are the outpictured symbols of supply. You might say then, what about the people that they say that and they say that and then it works? As I said, some people take heaven by force, saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it, and then finding somebody that can help make it happen. You know, that's a tough road to go down. I'm not saying that it's wrong, but I'm saying that there is a higher way. There are people who are mentalists, people who believe in hypnosis, people who can heal by hypnosis, but something else is going to come. They do a lot of these things of mental science, but something else is going to come. And then you're going to need to do it again, and you're going to need to do it again. However, the person who is able to still the senses, who is able to still the thoughts, who is able to sink within and literally realize my consciousness or my conscious awareness that I am is God. And that word that is expressed in my consciousness as an idea is in a mirror and is going to reflect out here. It's going to run into me. It's going to come to me. I'm just going to one day bump into it. It's just going to be there. It's going to be exactly what's necessary, and nothing will be left out and nothing missing. All is already done. Now let's look at forgiveness. That's verse 25. Everything's already forgiven. When I realized that forgiveness is I'm giving up this for that, I have given up believing that God left something out of the picture for a conscious understanding and awareness that I am already fulfilled. And that's forgiveness. It's already fulfilled. I think last week we were talking about it's already done. I'm already there. But everything's already fulfilled. Jesus said, I came not to destroy, but to fulfill. Fulfill what? The space that appeared to be empty. We talk about things being nothing. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void. Now, that void is what we call the nothing. That void is the word. You can't see the word. We just look around out here and we don't see the word. We see where people have painted words on signs and whatever, but that's not what we're talking about. There is a word within that becomes the sign, that becomes the letters, that becomes 2 times 2 is 4. And it was always that way. It's just we consciously become aware of the word which brings us peace. And when we are not looking for something that we thought we needed, it just rushes into our lives. It's always been there. We're just uncovering it. Everything is already forgiven. Because we are fulfilled, we don't need to destroy anything. We are the Word made flesh. What about sickness, disease, poverty, lack, all suffering? It's not there. This is something that is being suggested. I remember, what did I post yesterday? If thine eye be single, then is thy whole body full of light. What does that mean? The eye be simple, the eye be single, the eye only looking at what? What is. All there is light. All there is truth. All there is love. But all of those are coming from the Word, and that Word expresses itself. So I am fulfilled because I am the Word. The Word is its own fulfillment. Wow. The Word is its own fulfillment, and I am the Word. So sickness and disease is not there. It appears to be there because we have accepted appearances as reality. We have accepted suggestions. But when we come into an awareness that that's not to be, that's not a lesser way. We never should have been doing that. We should never, ever have been accepting sickness and disease and lack and poverty and those kinds of things as God's showing us something, mass chaos, so we can learn. I never taught my children the hard route, and I know God, as a father, is not doing that. We should never, ever have been accepting that, but we were taught that. The early churches taught us that. You know, it's darkest before dawn. You're going to have a hard time, but that's all right, hang in there. After a while and by, God is going to come and end it. Think about the last time when you saw your kid struggling with anything. I don't care what it was, struggling in school, did you say, well, I'm just going to let him struggle, and then finally I'm going to come along and I'm going to say, okay, man, let me ease your pain. No. You wanted that thing over with as soon as possible. You just didn't know how to do it, but you went to great lengths. I know I did. I went and found somebody to teach Jamal algebra. I went and found somebody to help whenever my kids were in something struggling. I went and found somebody to fix situations if it appeared to be something that was causing stress. And so now I've come to a realization that we should never, ever have been accepting that kind of stuff to begin with. It should never have come into our experience, but it came because of how we're made, of who we are. We have choice, and we can choose to accept that stuff. But once we choose to stop accepting it, we're not destroying it. If we destroyed sickness, would anybody in the world be getting sick? If we destroyed suffering, if we destroyed poverty and lack, if we say, well, I'm going to destroy it right now because I can speak the word and it's all destroyed. Well, then why is it the guy next door is still getting sick? The people over across the street still struggling, can't pay the bills. I thought you destroyed it. No. But if I am fulfilled and I realize I am fulfilled and I realize the consciousness of fulfillment and what have you, and I am able to look across the street and see that guy and realize he's the same that I am. I'm loving my neighbor as myself. Chances are he just might wake up and want to know, what is it that you're doing? How are you doing this? Or he gets into a conversation with you and just, I've been having such a hard time, what have you. I just don't know what to do. That's a way of asking for help. And if I know that he is the Word made flesh, I know he has the idea within him. Well, I have an idea that he is fulfilled. I have an idea that you are fulfilled. And because I have that idea, that has to express itself. That's how we bear one another's burdens. I believe that. So, I am come that you would have life and that you would have it more abundantly. We all have life and we have it more abundantly because Jesus Christ came with that consciousness and prayed for everybody. Everybody didn't accept it, but those who accepted it went on to live a life of godliness. And people came and wondered, what is it that you're doing? How are you doing this? How is this happening in your life? People wanted to hear what Paul had to say. People wanted to hear what Peter had to say, and John and James. They wanted to hear it. They wanted to be able to go out and live it. Joel Goldsmith said one time, there's nothing that spreads quicker than in a neighborhood that if a healer can heal. But he also said, don't run out and start trying to pour your truth on the unprepared mind, because the human mind will always rebel at something that it's not looking for. Isn't that wisdom? The human mind, which is no such thing, this person who believes that they can pull themselves up by their own bootstraps, they cannot accept you living by grace if they're not looking for it. You can stand and tell them until you're blue in the face, this is the Christ, you are the Christ, and what have you. And you won't get anywhere with that mind, because that mind is a no mind. It's ego, it's prideful, and it will not accept what it's not looking for. I'm serious. I've seen it too many times. But if you're quiet, if you're secretive, if you're sitting by within yourself, knowing the truth about yourself and knowing the truth about your neighbor, some of them are going to come. Some of them are going to want to know what it is that you're saying. I noticed that if the deeper things that I put on Facebook, you get 3 or 4 people that might say they like it. But you put something up there that always makes it look like you're getting ready to come into something, or you're getting ready to do something. Oh, yeah, speak it real. Bunches of people. I see people who put stuff, they'll post something on Facebook about, character, developing character. And I don't know how you do that. Developing character. And when you develop character, then you will da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And over 100 people just talk about how wonderful. Yeah, speak it, Rev. Speak it, Bishop. Speak it, Elder. How do you develop character? Show me how you develop character. You cannot develop something that you already have. And you have the character of the Christ. And the Christ character is an idea which is already expressed. It makes you, the word in the Bible is peculiar. I don't like that word. I like the word unique. Because you are fulfillment, you are unique. What's unique about it? You're not trying to go out and fulfill anything. You're not trying to fulfill a purpose. A purpose is already fulfilled in you. We've always had this thing about. We've always been out here trying to get what we already have. Here's a good one. You will not have to fight in this battle. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. What? I don't have to fight. The human mind is looking to fight. It's looking to march. It's looking to get out here and it needs accolades. You don't have to fight. Stand still. Let it be given to you. See the salvation. What is salvation? Deliverance. Deliverance from what? Fighting. The only fight you got is the fight of faith. But except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Born again is a complete about face. What are you looking for? God, the Word. What word are you looking for? A car, a house, a picket fence, a partner, a wife, a significant other, a husband, children. That's what I was looking for. But what are you looking for now? God, the Word, the presence. Why? Because you can get all those other things and not be fulfilled. But there's no way for me to get the Word and get God and not be fulfilled. God is already built in. I am already fulfilled. I can see the kingdom. That's where all of the excitement is. The excitement, you hear people say all the time, the excitement is in the journey. That's if the journey is within. The excitement is not in the journey out here. You know, what is the journey out here? Let's describe a journey. Applying for a job that 30 other people are applying for. Interviewing with people. Knowing that there is built in this world, systemic racism and all types of bigotry. Knowing that you're competing with people who are lesser qualified, and they might get the job. That's the journey. The excitement is in the journey. Really? Yeah. I don't get excited in the journey going up 301 to go to such and such a place to get whatever it is that I need. Going out to the grocery store, there's the journey, up and down aisles, people looking at you like you might give me COVID, people looking at you like they're fearful, looking at the fear in people's eyes. That's the journey. Now, if you flip the journey and have the journey turning within, I'm going within. I am seeking the kingdom, which is the word, which is God. Why am I seeking the word? Because there is a word for every situation that requires peace. Today it might be the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. This evening there may be another situation, and the word might be, I am come that you would have life and have it more abundantly. Or it might be, seek first the kingdom and everything will be added unto you. The word might be, delight thyself in the Lord and he will grant you the desires of your heart. I am always seeking a word when there is a traumatic situation causing stress. I am turning within, looking for the word, which my brother always calls listening. Jesus Christ came and delivered all from the mirage, the mesmerism, the hypnotism of a so-called carnal man and its existence. God is all. Let me tell you something. The feeling that comes, that euphoric feeling, that light feeling that comes within you when you know that that's what you were looking for and that was the result. What? You weren't looking for the feeling. You were looking for the word. The result is the word. And when the word comes, understanding comes with it, and it's a tree of life. We've already realized and accepted the nothingness of a false creation, a tree of the knowledge of good and evil. That when I quoted a few minutes earlier, that when your eye is single, it's full of light, but if your eye is evil, that means duality. When the eye believes and sees a world that's filled with good and evil and accepts that, it is accepting a false creation. And there's only one creation. And I said it was choice or choose. I can only choose the word. I'm bent that way. That's what we're supposed to be choosing. The nothingness of creation. In other words, that nothingness is not an emptiness. The nothingness of a false creation is emptiness. There's nothing there. But the nothingness of the reality of the real, the only creation is the scientists. The scientists call it waves. Fillmore called it the kingdom of the heavens. The quantum physics process is to observe it. Goldsmith said, be an observer. If you are observing a wave called God, which is the word, it will appear as the thing that appears to be missing or that which appears to be necessary. I'm coming to a point where I'm realizing there's nothing necessary. Everything's here. You just need to choose to bring it into your experience. Got a lot of people that bring it into their experience from a lot of different kinds of ways, but as long as the starting point is from realizing that it already is, it is an idea, it is already expressed, that is the truth of the matter. If that's the byproduct of finding the word or finding God, then you on the right track. The track that expresses the fact that you're already fulfilled. Faith works by love. Galatians 5 and 6. That's why I do all those breath exercises. I know that the love of God is shed abroad in my heart by the Holy Spirit. And I know that when I do that deep breathing exercise from the audio book that I've been listening to, when I feel that air come all the way up to the top of my head and I hold my breath a little bit, I feel my heart open up. I feel all of that presence. I know behind that is the word, and I know there's going to be a revelation in that word. And when I see it, I'm born again. And again, and again, and again. Because with every stressful situation, I am able to be born again to see from a correct perspective that I have no need to fight in this battle. I can stand still and see the salvation of the Lord because I am the Son of God, which is invisible. And this Son of God is the activity of the Word that becomes flesh, acting in perfect ways. I am the Word made flesh. I am the Word. I am fulfilled. I am fulfillment. Amen. So it is.